Hello, boys and girls. How are you doing today? Are you doing good? Awesome. Well, I'm Mr. Trujillo. I'll be your teacher for today. And today we're going to be learning and recapping needs and wants. And we're also going to be introduced to new vocabulary words like goods and services. Do y'all remember what our last lesson over needs and wants? Yes? Perfect. Remember what a need is? Who can tell me what a need is? A need is something that we need in order to survive, like shelter, water, and like food, like fruits, our vegetables, our dairy, and our protein. All that stuff is things that we need in order to survive. Now, who remember what a want is? Yes, very good job. Yes, that is actually what a want is. A want is something that we want, that we desire, that we want to have. It's not necessarily something that we need, but it's something that we want to have. And those things are like when we grow up, we would like to have a car. We want to have a car, and then we also want new clothes, new shoes. Whenever the school year begins, we want new backpacks, we want new uniforms, and all those things are things that we want. We don't necessarily need them to survive. And boys and girls, do you also remember that there's things that could be both a need and a want? Who can tell me an example of something that can be both a need and a want? Very good job. Yes. All right. That is something that can be a need and a want. Water, because water is something that we need in order to survive. Our bodies can only go for a certain amount of time without water until we need it to stay hydrated and be able to survive. Now, it can also be a want because we couldn't necessarily just want water at a certain time of the day. Like right now, I'm like, I want some water, but do I really need the water now? I need it and I want, So yes, so that's a perfect example of a need and a want at the same time. Now today, boys and girls, we're going to learn about goods and services. Has anyone heard of goods and services? Well, goods and services they come from a need and a want. So now, goods and services is mostly things that we want. So we would want a good, and then we would want a service. Sometimes we need a good, and sometimes we need the service as well. And this examples today, we're gonna start off with an activity, and I want you to. We're gonna watch this video real quick, and then we're gonna ask questions, and we're gonna interact. And I'm gonna also allow you to talk with your buddy, so y'all could collaborate and discuss your ideas of what a good and a service is. But first, are y'all ready to watch this? Yes? Perfect. So let's go ahead and watch it. All right, I want everyone to be quiet. 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. All right, perfect.
Hello kids, today we will be learning about goods and services. Ashi, can you tell me the difference between goods and services with examples?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Why Ashi, I just told this in the class. You and Aru were busy talking. Now it's your homework to learn the difference between goods and services with examples. I will ask both of you tomorrow.
Ashi, now what do we do?
Don't worry Aru, let's ask my dad.
Hello uncle, can you tell us the difference between goods and services?
Okay kids, a good is something you can touch with your hands, whereas a service is a job. You pay someone else to do it. For example, you buy shoes, that is a good. When your shoe breaks, you go to a cobbler to get it repaired. Now what a cobbler does is a service. Let's see some more examples. Do you want to have ice cream? I am sure you want to have ice cream. Alright, now that I've paid the ice cream vendor money, tell me, is ice cream a good or a service?
Good.
Wonderful.
All right, boys and girls. All right, so we're gonna stop right here, and we're gonna actually go ahead and go on some like an adventure. Are y'all ready? Do y'all want to do an adventure of what goods and services are? Because I do have a few examples in the classroom today that will allow you to find your understanding on what a good and a service is. All right, so I want you to pay attention, because I don't want to send you with homework of having to tell me what a good and a service is. So today, this is all we're going to be talking about: goods and services. And at the end of class, we're gonna read a quick book, and I'm gonna introduce. And in that book, we're gonna see how it relates to a good and a service. All right. So are you ready? Okay. So from the video, we saw the example that the uncle was driving the kids around after school. So on their way home, the uncle, the kids asked the uncle, "Hey, what's a good and what's a good and what's a service?" Now here, the uncle stopped by for ice cream, and he got them some ice cream, and then he paid the vendor. Now he explained that the ice cream is good because that's something that they can touch and then they can eat, and so they're eating the ice cream which they have purchased from the vendor. So that was the good. The service was the vendor actually being available and providing the ice cream to the uncle and the kids. So now both everyone's happy. The vendor got he made his sale, he got his money for the goods, and then the kids got the good. So the vendor provided the service to the kids, and he gave them the good, which was the ice cream. Does anyone have any questions about that? Now, on your way home, has anyone seen an example of a good and a service? Can anyone give me an example? All right, what is your example? Yes, very good job. That is an example of a good and a service. Whenever you go after school and you go eat something, somebody is providing you the service, which is giving you and making the food for you, and you and your parents are paying them the money for the good. So the good is the food that you taking home so you could eat, and then the service was whoever made the food for you, and then whenever you pay the cashier. So that's multiple goods and services right there. So very good job. All right. So today in class we're gonna do some activities.
I see that we can.
But before we do some activities, I want you to turn around and or talk to your buddy next to you, so y'all could discuss a little bit more. What are your thoughts and your ideas on what you think a good and a service is? So I'm gonna be walking around, and I'm gonna be observing you as you have some discussions with your partner. So I want you to, at the count of 3, I want you to go ahead and turn around to your partner and discuss. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, go. Great job, great job. All right, so 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. Ears in ear, ready to hear. Hands in your lap, tap, tap, tap. All right, boys and girls, so nice collaboration. I heard some great examples. I heard great discussions. So very good job for that. Everybody will get a star for class participation today. And remember what our star gets us? The amount of stars that we get. We created some money plates. This is our class money that we created last week. Y'all remember this? Y'all did this, and then this is your money that you were able to earn. So y'all could get some stuff from our classroom store that we will create later on. So y'all provided some examples of like $1. This is $5, and then we have $2 bills. So as you earn stars, you will earn your money as well, and you're able to purchase things from our classroom store that we will build. All right, so everybody will get a star for participation. Very good job, boys and girls. Now I heard some great discussions over what needs and wants are, and then y'all also related that and connected it to a good and a service. So very good job for that, boys and girls. So now let's go ahead and I brought some examples to show you. So here we have a plant. This plant, it seems like it hasn't been taken really good care of. The plant seems like it's about to die. The soil is dry. So how can we? This is the good. So how can we allow this plant to come back to life? So for that, we need a service, and the service needs to be done daily. So by giving the plant some water, we'll give some plant some water, and then we'll also give it some sunlight, so it will be able to grow. Because the plant, these are needs of the plant. So if the plant doesn't get water, if it doesn't get sunlight, and if it doesn't get like the fertilizers, the plant will just eventually die. However, we could still bring this plant back to life if we give it the service of maintaining the plant. So the goods for the water for the plant are the water, and the fertilizer, and now the service is the service I am providing to the plant. So this, you will see examples in gardeners, or whatever your mom is doing it to, or your parents at home. They're maintaining the lawn, they're watering the lawn. So, and they're giving it sunlight to the plants from the indoor plants. So that way, the plants are able to flourish, grow, blossom into flowers, and stuff like that. So this is the example of a good and a service. The goods are the plant that's maintaining, and the service is us, a gardener, providing the things it will need for the plant to stay alive. So this is one example. Now another example of a good and a service is, boys and girls, is whenever you go to the movies. Did you ever just want, like, when you go to the movies, you have to pay for your ticket to go into the movie. And now, whenever you pay for your ticket to go into the movie, the person that's selling you the ticket, that's the person that's providing the service. The good is the actual ticket for you to go inside the theater. Once you're inside the theater, another type of service is whenever you go and order popcorn and some drinks, right? Whenever you order the popcorn, somebody is making the popcorn for you. They're putting it into a box, and they're providing that for you. And here we go. So this is a great example of another good and services. The goods are the popcorn. So we have popcorn, and then the service was the person that made the popcorn and sold it to you at the movie theater. So that's another example of a good and a service. And then this is something that we want at the movies. Is something that we want. We want to go see a movie. We want popcorn, and yes. So that's another example of a goods and a service. And then we related it to also being a want. Now, boys and girls, I'm gonna give you another example. So another example is when you have parties and stuff like that. So another example is when you have parties, there's always a cake, right? Or most of the times people want a cake to celebrate the occasion. If it's a birthday party, if it's a wedding, if it's an anniversary or something, there is some type of sweet. So you go to the bakery store, or you can make it yourself at home too, and then they will make you a cake, and then you have to bake it, and then you purchase the cake. So the service is the person that's doing the cake and making the cake for you, and then the good is the final product, which is the cake. You get to take it home, you eat it, and y'all have fun, right? So that's another example of a good and a service. So the service will be the baker, whoever is making the cake, and the good is the actual cake whenever you buy it. Now, boys and girls, this is another example. Who here has ever taken care of a dog? Or do you know somebody that has taken care of a dog? Yes? Very great job. Yes. So that is another example of as a good and a service. The good is the goods that you're providing to the goods is the food, and then the food is something that the dog is going to get. So the dog is getting the food from the service, and the service is the actual person sitting the dog, taking the dog out on walks, maintaining the dog, grooming the dog, and all those services that you provide for the dog. So the dog is getting all the goods, which is he's getting some food, he's getting some water, he's getting some walk, and then he's also getting grooming and all that stuff. Those are all goods for the dog. And then the service is the people that are actually doing all this for the dog. So whenever you go to the groomer is cutting the dog's hair, and that's the service that the dog is getting. So the dog is getting the haircut, and then the dog, whoever is feeding the dog is being fed some goods, which is the food, some water, and then the dog is getting that service from the person that's giving all these goods to the dog. And then also on walks, whenever the dog goes out on walks, that's a service that's being provided to the dog. So that's a great example. And then there's multiple examples also that you can find at home. Now, one personal example I could provide to you for myself, I personally, on the weekends, I like to go out to a restaurant and eat. So whenever I go out to the restaurant and eat, the waiter is providing the service to me, and the good is the dinner I have ordered from the waiter. And fun fact, boys and girls, I am a waiter myself sometimes on the weekends. I go in there into work and I provide a service. So for the service, boys and girls, I require my apron. So I have to go into work with my apron. I go into work with my apron, I put it on. Put on your apron, right? So this is my apron. I have my name tag, which is Bani, that's my name. And then I have my towel for whenever people want to order something, I have to clean something up. I have to like wipe down the table, and that's a service I'm providing. So, and then I need my drink tray, which whenever I go to the table and I introduce myself, and I let them know if they would like to get something as a beverage to drink. I have water available. I also have sodas like Coke products or Pepsi, and then they will order that from me. And then if they want the good, which is a soda like a Coke, they'll ask me for the Coke. I provide the service. I go and get the Coke. So go get the Coke. I come back to the table. I introduce the good, which is the Coke, and I give it to them. And then that's going to be the service that was provided by me, the server. So the server provides the service to the person that's ordering, and then the person gets their goods. And then at the end, they'll pay me for my service, and then we both get to go home after that. So that's a really great, fun example. My personal example that I provided to you, how I have done both. But been to a restaurant as a customer trying to get my goods, and I have provided this service as well. Boys and girls, do we have any questions? No? Okay, very great job. Well, this was all examples of goods and services. Now, who is ready to read a book? Perfect. So now we're gonna whenever we get books as well, books is going to be the good, and then wherever you get the books from is going to be the service. So I went to the library, I got a book, and then the service was the librarian that helped me pick the book and gave me the book to bring to y'all to class so we could read it. And now the book was good, and the service was the librarian that gave me the book. All right, so let's go ahead and start our book. Boys and girls, actually, before we begin our book, let's go ahead and work on activities. So now I provided some activities in our working stations today. There's different items that we're gonna get to work with, and then I want you to separate them and tell me the good is the items are on the table, but I want you to come up or try to find out what the service is, who is providing the service. All right, so I'll ask you to go into your groups. We're gonna move slowly and quiet, like quiet bunnies, okay? So today we're gonna be quiet bunnies. We're gonna move slow, and then we're gonna be quietly, okay? So at the count of 3, I'm gonna ask you to turn around and get into your groups slowly and quietly. And whenever you're in your groups and your group stations, there has been a sheet provided to you that gives you the directions. So I want you to read the directions and follow those directions and work in your stations with your objects, which are your goods. And I want you to identify the service for those objects, which is the goods. All right. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, and I will be walking around and observing your work. And then after that, we're gonna move into our book, reading our book. Okay. So at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, y'all may get up and move to your groups and start working on your group projects. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. All eyes on me. Ears in ear, ready to hear. Hands in your lap, tap, tap, tap. All right, great job, boys and girls. So now that we're done with our activity, now we have put everything away. We have cleared off all of our goods items, and then we have discussed over the services. Now we are ready to read our book. So today I'm going to be reading a book to you, and I'm also going to be providing some popcorn so y'all could read along with the book. All right, who wants popcorn? I have popcorn. I have made some popcorn, so we're gonna be able to enjoy the movie with some of this popcorn. I mean the book. I shall read the book with you. Okay, so the book is called The Night Before Christmas. All right, so this is a great book. I know Christmas is coming, so I wanted to give you like a little story on a book about the night before Christmas. So this is a book. This is the front cover of the book. Let me show you the back cover. This is the end of the book, the back cover of the book. The back cover of the book. So we get to see that. Now this book is written by Clement C. Moore. Clement C. Moore is the author of the book, which is the person that wrote the book. Now this is the beginning of the book. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna read along, and then y'all are gonna listen to the book, okay? So there was the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care and hopes that Saint Nicholas soon will be there. Ooh, so now everything, the house is quiet, nothing is moving, and the stockings are hung in the hopes that Santa Nicholas will be there. So look all around the house. Can you find 3 cats? Find a mouse too. The animals you see there will appear through the story, and others things to look for as well. So I want you to look at this picture right here. I want you to find things that you notice, okay? And then some of these things are gonna be coming out through our book and the process while we're reading the book. All right, I want you to observe, and I want you to like pick some things that you like, and then we're gonna talk about them later on as they will appear in our book. The children were nested, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Can you find these things in the picture? Now we're gonna look for a cat, a straw, a missing tire, and a red headband. Can we find all those things, all those items and objects? All right. Very great job. Yeah, we found all of our objects. Now, and Mama in her kerchief and in my cap had just settled down for a long winter nap. Then out on the lawn there aroused such a clatter. I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Do we see some things that are rhyming here, boys and girls? Yeah, we see things that are rhyming like clatter and matter. So that's a great phonemic awareness. The onset rhyme, where the onset is the ka and the rhyme is the adder. So in matter, adder, and clatter, adder. Oh, so that's a great review of our phonemic awareness skills. And away from the window, I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and then threw up the sash. We see other words that are rhyming as well, like flash and sash. The ash being the rhyme. All right. And then, boys and girls, I'm gonna ask you to find the string of beads, a pair of glasses, and a gingerbread man. Are you able to find those items? Very great job. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeers with a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew it was a moment. It must be Saint Nick. So this is the visual of the book. I'm gonna ask you to find these items. Very good job. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, oh Comet, oh on Cupid, on Ronder, Thunder, and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, and dash away all. So we hearing that Santa just is appearing with his 8 reindeer, and he is calling out their names one by one. So now I want you to find these objects in the book. All right, very good job. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up the housetop the coursers they flew, with that sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then I'm a twinkling I heard on the roof, the prancing and pawing of each tiny hoof. So he is hearing them arriving to the rooftop, and he hears every hoof, and he hears the sleigh just arriving to the top of the house. Now I want you to find these items with me, boys and girls. Can we find all these items? All right, very good job. Now, as I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. So he sees Santa arriving with a whole lot of goods, which are toys, and he described the way Santa was dressed. All right, so now his eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry, his droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow. And the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and round little belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl full of jelly. Oh, so he describing everything, how he's looking, how his belly moves when he laughs, like a bowl full of jelly. All right, boys and girls, so this is interesting. Now, let's find some bidding cookies. Let's find a jingle bell, and let's find some 10 candy canes. Oh, I see a lot of candy canes. Do you see all the candy canes? All right, let's count them. We have one here, two. They're all over, they're all around. All right, boys and girls, so let's continue. He sprang to his sled, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like down of a twistle. And I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight. Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And that was The Night Before Christmas. So that was a book about the night before Christmas, boys and girls. What did we learn today? What did we learn from the book? Yeah, Santa had a lot of toys. But at the same time, Santa also provided a service. His service was to make a lot of kids happy. With the help of the reindeers, he was able to fly all around the world and stop by each house. And down the chimney he went to leave toys. And Santa also got some goods. Some cookies were there. Santa ate the cookies. And then he left the toys. The reindeers were waiting for him to come back up the chimney. And then they went on and on to the next house, and then at the end he screamed out loud. He said, like, Merry Christmas and a good night to all. So here Santa provides a lot of goods, which is toys and gifts for the kids. So y'all had to be nice, so y'all could be in Santa's nice list and get some toys for Christmas. So it's because Santa will provide those goods for you if you've been nice. If you've been naughty, he might think about it. He might give you something too, because Santa is nice. But the more good you are, if you behave, Santa will give you some goods. And the service he provides is making you happy with the goods that you have. So that's an example. That's another example of a good in service. Yeah. Also, you provide the goods for Santa whenever you leave him some cookies for him to eat. So that's something that was really fun. And I hope the Christmas is coming, so I hope all of y'all have been nice this year so y'all can get those good toys from Santa. All right, boys and girls, so thank you for following along and the read aloud of this book. Now, we're gonna go ahead and get back to our seats, and we're gonna wait for the bell. All right, well, thank you very much. This was my lesson for today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And we're going to be talking more about goods and services, providing more examples later on. Okay? Thank you very much, boys and girls.